This is a TrapCon free beat. The link is down below in the description.
Welcome back, bros, to another video review. And today I'm taking a look at a Target exclusive Transformers the Movie Studio Series 86 Autobot Blaster and Eject. So as for the contents that comes with this blaster, first off, we get Blaster himself, and he comes with his weapon, his blaster, and also he comes with Autobot Eject, the cassette tape or companion robot for Blaster. And then what comes standard with all Transformers is the instruction manual, as you can see right there in front of the packaging. So here, guys, I've already zoomed in to take a closer look at this Transformers Studio Series 86 Transformers the Movie Blaster figure and Eject. Just looking at the figures right off the bat, I will say that this is, in my opinion, the best version because it's the most accurate to what we saw in the cartoon show. The face is spot on. The cassette deck is perfect. That is exactly how he looked in the cartoon, with that gray window area not being see-through, but actually looking like a real Walkman. The legs look great, in my opinion. Now, if you guys saw my previous review with the Autobots Unite Generation Selects 5-pack with the Hound, the Sunstreaker, the Jazz, the Trailbreaker, the way that the Studio Series movie line is going, that there is no solid black on any of the Transformers. They're going to be more of that charcoal gray. So with this figure, this is continuing with that set of styling for the new figure. So just to mention off a few, you got figures like the 5-pack, like I told you. You got the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cliff Jumper, and you got also that Cup figure, and then you got the Brawn figure that came out for the Studio Series 86, the movie, and then you also now got Gears coming up with that. So yes, Hasbro now is going towards that more charcoal gray rather than black, and also with those light blue windows. So I like that this figure is sticking with that type of conversion and that realistic coloring from pulling something off of a TV screen into actual real day color right now. So real briefly, just looking at Eject right here is pretty much made out of solid blue plastic and also a little bit gray right there. You got the gray on the upper legs, and you got them on the upper arms underneath the shoulder pads. Now, the lower arms from the ball joint on down is basically molded in blue plastic that's painted white. As far as Eject, he is a small character. I know you can't see it very well on the camera, but he does have a painted face. It is painted white, and not only that, it has a little bit of orange and some paint details on the face, the chest, and you have the Autobot symbol in red, and then the painted details on his crotch area. So with all that being said, guys, let's go ahead and skip the articulation and move to accessories that came with this figure. So for the first accessory that comes with this figure, wait a minute, hold on, guys. I meant to mention this in the paint details. We have the red dots painted right here on the feet, which you really couldn't see with the way it was in the details section. But let's stay back on focus. So basically, the first accessory we're going to take a look at is Eject. So I don't know if you can see it right off, but here we have Eject. You can see the orange right there for the face. I guess a skin tone of him, and then he has little blue eyes. I don't know if you can see that in the camera with the lighting. I'm trying to show you that. I don't know if it's supposed to be blue, but it looks like the visor is not painted clearly very well. so therefore it's a little blue bleeding through. On the face, like I told you guys, this is a blue. Oh, I'm sorry. It is a gray ball joint, as you can see. But yes, I don't know why there is a little trace of blue, or is that gray, or maybe the light's bouncing it to make it whatever it is. But anyway, it has a nice amount of details on this. Now, the gold right here is not really coming off gold, in my opinion. I wish it would have been another coat on that. But as you see, this is pretty much, if I pull this off, you can see it's blue in there. So with it being blue, that's what I was saying. It was painted. It does transform into its cassette mode, so I'm really digging that. The only thing I'm a little bummed out with is that this figure did not come with his accessories, like his weapons or whatever, like, you know, Rumble would come with, or with Frenzy. So I'm a little bummed out that he didn't come with that, but it's a good cassette and I'm happy for that. And I know that we're supposed to be getting the Studio Series cassette Steeljaw soon. So the next accessory he came with is going to be his blaster. It is exactly the same the way it was with the Kingdom version, so there's not really much different on that. But I do like this charcoal gray plastic. Don't get me wrong, black would have been great for his weapon at least, but I guess with this charcoal color, it gives it a more realistic, because you see this type of coloring on guns versus just being solid black. So yes, it just goes in his hand like you saw in the details section. It's not very complicated, but that's the last accessory we get with this blaster. So let's go ahead and move on to the comparison segment, where everyone's been waiting to see if this figure is actually worth picking up or sticking with the Kingdom version, which came out a few years ago, which was actually a decent release. So as promised, guys, I'm going to start the comparison off right now with the Kingdom Blaster version, what we got a few years ago in the Kingdom series. So this is the Kingdom Blaster on the left, with also the Kingdom version of Eject on the left. On the right of your screen, you have the Studio Series Blaster and the Studio Series Eject. You clearly can tell which one is which. Now, I know it's obvious, but with the paint differences and the details, which are very subtle in this case, just to mention them and name them out, the Kingdom version has the gray face with the same blue eyes. So there's nothing really different other than that, except that's more toy accurate form. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the Kingdom version is more toy accurate. Now the Studio Series is more cartoon accurate. So check out the two faces, guys. One's white, one's also gray. Now check out the cassette window details. Now the details on the Kingdom version has that translucent clear smoke black plastic, which is more geared to the toy, which was the original that came back out in the 80s. And then you see the difference with the Studio Series being more that cartoon accurate, where it's not see-through, but it looks as if it is a true Walkman, which he was definitely created after. Now, the only other difference that you see on this figure is subtle differences. The plastic on the Kingdom Blaster is in all black. As you see right there, the details for the forearm, the details on the shoulder, the details on the hand, the gun, the thighs, the handle for the boombox, the feet, the speakers. So pretty much for what we get right here in robot mode, we pretty much get the same robot. Nothing really different from the hips on down, except for just the Studio Series changing the coloring to that more charcoal gray versus that dark black. As you see, there is a little bit more details on the Studio Series. Where the feet are, you see the two red circles inside of both feet, while the Kingdom doesn't have that. Turning our attention to Ejects. The two Ejects are identical. They're exactly the same figure, just painted differently. One is using clear plastic, while the other is using solid plastic. Over the time, it was also stated throughout many Transformer fans that clear plastic over time breaks, and it's not, it doesn't age well over time. So now we have the solid version of Eject. Now looking at both Ejects, one is more true to the show with the white and blue, which is on the right, and then the clear version is just pretty much gray and translucent blue with some gold bits painted on. Do I think the gold bits are better on the Kingdom version? Yes. It appears more gold and it has another layer of gold painted on the Kingdom version versus the one layer of gold for his chest painted on the Studio Series version. So now that all that's out the way, guys, let's go ahead and compare this Studio Series blaster with some of the other figures in that Studio Series slash new line and some of the figures we may own that we have in our collection already. So here we are for my next comparison. Here I have all the Autobots that I have out of storage or that were saved from the fire and from the restoration team before you. Most of them are the Autobots Generation Select 5 pack, as you can see. We have Sunstreaker, we have Jazz, Wheeljack, Hound, and also Trailbreaker. Now, in front of Jazz and Sideswipe, we have the Buzzworthy Bumblebee version. Now, this is the only exclusion that I'm surprised, which I know we may get later on in another 5-pack, possibly another version of Cliff Jumper with the more charcoal gray, I guess black instead of that jet black that he has on his shoulders and his hands, his crotch or whatever like that. So I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if we see Cliff Jumper get another recoloring for a later Generation Selects 5-pack, guys. So just giving you guys a heads up. Just looking at this group all together with that light blue window, that charcoal gray black instead of that jet black, I think they all look good and they turned out. So now you're able to see where these colors are coming from and how cohesive they are with one another, with all these Autobots looking good together. So here we are for my last comparison with all of the Autobots that I currently have out of this storage slash restoration hibernation chamber. So here we are, just adding more figures to it so you guys can get the general scale and how this figure looks with some of the other figures that we own in our collection. So basically, the big guy that you can't really see on screen is Skyfire, which you know is the Transformers Siege Generations Commander class. Then we have the Earthrise Sideswipe, the Legacy United 5-pack Sunstreaker, the 5-pack Jazz. We have the Transformers Earthrise Optimus Prime, which I said that we are getting a Commander class version, which will come out later in the year. And I'm pretty sure it's going to continue with those light blue windows, just like they're making all other Studio Series figures. Then we have the Buzzworthy Cliff Jumper in the middle. We have Eject right there below Jazz. We also have Wheeljack. We have that's the Wheeljack from the 5-pack. We have Mirage, Earthrise version. We have the 5-pack Hound, the 5-pack Trailbreaker. And we also have the Netflix Bumblebee, who we will be getting a new Bumblebee later on this year. I can't wait to see that revealed because I'm pretty sure it's going to be great and better than what we received of this Netflix version. So we get a more accurate version for Studio Series. That will be pretty cool in my opinion. And then you round it off with the recent Commander class Ultra Magnus. So just looking at all these figures at a whole, Blaster fits in very well and scales nicely. You got your Commander class, your Leader class, you got your Voyager class, you got your Deluxe class, and then you also have your Core class with Rewind. I'm sorry, Eject. I'm sorry. But yes, guys, they look good together. So this is my comparison. Let's go ahead and check out some more stuff that I want to show you in this review. And for my final comparison, here I have Blaster with some other figures that I own in my collection, not necessarily Transformers. So here we have Blaster and Eject right here, compared with the Jakks Pacific Sonic movie figure, the Playmates reissue Mutate in Donatello, the Hasbro Marvel Legends Gameverse Spider-Man figure, and then we have the NECA 1990s Donatello figure, and then we have the Jakks Pacific early version of the wrestling figures, who is Mankind, just to show you the scaling and the size of this figure compared to other figures that we may have from different brands in our collection, just so you can see the size references. So, okay, bros, if you wanted to see the transformation of this figure, please click the link as you see right there for the Kingdom Blaster review that I did earlier in my YouTube career, which was about 2 or 3 years ago, if you really want to see the transformation. But I skipped that to keep this video shorter than what it would be if I added the transformation. So checking out the two blaster figures, I'm pretty sure you know I kept it the same layout as Kingdom on the left, Studio on the right. Now that I got that out the way, I'm really liking the Studio Series version more because it looks more like that typical boombox that we had back in the day compared to the toy version. Now, the toy version is definitely decked out. It definitely looks more like the toy that we received back in the day. There's so many blastery issues that this figure mimics. Now, looking at the details on it, don't get me wrong, I think the black on it pops very well with that translucent door and all that, but look at the details on the Studio Series version of Blaster. To me, that just makes my eyes feel more satisfied because it looks appealing. Yes, it is using that charcoal black gray as what I was telling you about. It's technically not black, but it's like a charcoal, like a asphalt gray or whatever you want to call it. But it looks good on this figure. To me, the new Studio Series version, yes, it has subtle differences than what we got with the original Kingdom version, but I think the subtle differences work. It makes the figure look like it's a brand new character, or if you don't see that, it makes it look like it's painted better, in my opinion. Like the colors on it are all like working together. Inverse of the Kingdom version having that yellow, having the translucent smoke window for the cassette, and then also the black, and then you have the red, the black painted. Don't get me wrong, I still think it's great too, but the Studio Series, in my opinion, just looks much better. And also, even though Eject is in the translucent clear for Kingdom version, I feel like the version of Studio Series is way better and definitely more cartoon accurate. So I don't want to talk your head off why I think the Studio Series is better. You clearly can see why it's better. So let's go ahead and bring out some more figures for some alt mode comparisons. So, all right, guys, before I go to the next comparison, I had to stop and go back because I was like, dang, I forgot to show the gimmick. So the gimmick is exactly the same as what we got with the Kingdom version, but I'm going to show you how it works and how it looks in the Studio Series version. So basically, you just give it a little push right here and it pops. Now notice inside of this, we have the solid plastic. And with this being said, this is like the blue version. So I'm assuming they took this mold or this part from Twin Cast, at least for the solid plastic piece right here, and painted it as you see. So basically you want to take this right here, and when you put your Minicon or your cassette in there, whatever you want to call them, turn the shoulder pads straight down, and then you can push the figure all the way in, and it should go all the way in just like that. It does make a little click, and then now you can close it up, and just like you do with the Kingdom, you have the cassette bot Eject stored in the boombox alt mode, which is pretty cool in my opinion because it hides all the accessories. And as you see, the gun works as an. And here we are for my second alt mode comparison. And just right off the bat, I just got some more recent figures that recently came out to go with this figure, which recently came out, so you can see what you're getting so far. We have the Wave 2 Voyager class Silverbolt figure. We have the Wave 1 Transformers Legacy United Silverbolt and Tasmanian Kid. As you can see, Tasmanian Kid is that core class. And then we have also Deluxe Transformers Reactivate Soundwave, just as a fill-in for an alt mode vehicle. So as you can see how big Blaster is compared to these actual Transformers. And before I end the comparison segment, I had to throw out some old Beast War figures so you can see how he's scaling, since it's pretty much Beast War's characters surrounding Autobot Blaster. So yeah, we got the original Bighorn, and we also have the original Snarl, aka the Tasmanian Kid figure, just to show you how these figures are scaling with figures from our past back in the, I guess you could say, mid 90s. So now it's time for the Yeah Bro Pick Up or Pass segment of my video review, where I like to share my opinions and thoughts on this recent figure in which that I just reviewed before you, in efforts to, I guess, give you some extra incentive to hopefully pick up this figure, or give you some extra caution to stay away from adding this figure to your collection. But ultimately, it is your decision, and I'm just here hoping to add a helpful, or I guess a general idea on what you're going to receive when you purchase this figure. So, all right, guys, as you know what I'm going to say. I am a huge Transformers G1 Blaster fan. This is one of my favorite Autobots. Now, as you know, who was played by Buster Davis, who has now passed away or been dead for a while, this figure touches my heart. So for me, guys, it is a pickup because I love the character back as when I was a younger child. When I watched it, I love it even more as an adult. This figure means so much more to me than it did, of course, as a kid. Now, here is my reasoning why I believe it is a pickup. The paint job on this copy, in my opinion, is keeping in line to what all of the previous studio series and also the new Transformers Legacy United Generation Selects 5-pack is doing. So you have that same continuity with the paint scheme with the blacks on these figures. The paint job, in my opinion, is superior than what we got with the Kingdom version. Now, yes, the Kingdom version does look good. It is the same figure, just painted in a different color scheme. The molding is the same. We have no issues there. With that being said, guys, on this copy, there is no translucent plastic, so you don't have to worry about things cracking or stressing or any type of worrying that this toy is going to be broken over a long period of time. So that right there makes it one good reason to pick up this figure. The paint details on it is terrific, in my opinion, spot on to what we saw in the G1 cartoon. For me, I like cartoon accuracy versus toy accuracy. So unfortunately, I did not know this figure was coming down the pipeline to give us a Studio Series 86 Blaster when I first bought the Kingdom version. Because if I knew it was coming, I would have just waited and got this version, because to me it's superior. Now the molding on it is exactly the same with the Kingdom. I don't have any issues with my copy. There is no mold degradation or looseness joints or whatever like that. So that's not a reason why not to pick up this figure. Now the playability, of course, is the same as what you got with the Kingdom figure. The cassette gimmick still works. Eject can turn to that cassette and also be stored in his chest. So guys, there are no bad reasonings why you shouldn't pick up this figure, or unless you're just tight on money and you have this figure already in your collection and you don't feel that you want more cartoon accuracy but more toy accuracy in your collection, then of course you don't have to pick this up. But guys, this is a definite pickup in my opinion. So if you're interested in picking up a copy of this figure, I got my copy, which I was very lucky, at my local Target store on the Monday after Easter. Now, the reason why I'm saying I'm lucky, because a lot of guys I've been talking to in my community that are around me that collect the Transformers, a lot of the stores in my region were holding the Blaster and the Origins Wheeljack figure for a reset that is supposedly supposed to happen on April 6th, and they wouldn't sell them the figure. So I don't know what's going on. I went in the morning before work, probably like early morning, like around 7, 8 a.m. And I gave them the DCPI and they pulled the figure and sold it to me with no problem. But people that came in after me said they had difficulty picking up this figure. So with that being said, once again, it is a Target exclusive and it shall be hitting shelves very soon, if not already have. If you can't purchase it there, it's definitely shipping on Target's website if you want to order it, if it's still in stock. So I'll post the link for the Target website down below just in case you don't want to go into retail and hunt for this figure and you'd rather order it online and have it shipped to you as soon as your order has been processed. Ultimately, I end up paying $34.99 for this figure, and I am satisfied with this Transformers Studio Series, Transformers the movie, Autobot, Blaster, and Eject. As always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. By doing these 4 actions, it shows my channel a tremendous amount of support, and not only that, positive feedback as a YouTube content creator. Thank you once again for spending your time watching my video, and until next time, yeah bro, I'll see you soon. And wait guys, don't forget to turn on your notification bell so you can be notified when I uploaded new content for you to check out at your earliest convenience. Thank you.